Hi.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus SideZ podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus SideZ podcast.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
Next.
I'm Dave Knapp, man on the Mounjaro. That's why I'm here.
Big news for semaglutide.
I'm the most elusive of all the doses. So I have a couple theories, and I'm interested to hear yours. The first, who likes my Karnak hat?
Jokes about Tirzepatide.
You are on the pen.
So good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Plus SideZ podcast.
We have, well, first, can you hear an echo? Are we good?
No, you sound good now. You sound lovely.
Shut the front door. I got my microphone to work.
You did. Look at you. Extraordinaire.
I had faith, Kat. I had all the faith in the world.
You did, huh?
Hey, friends.
Yes,
welcome. My name's Kim. I run my mouth about GLP-1s a lot.
This is going to be so fun.
It is going to be fun. I'm excited.
So Bear discovered sound effects.
Oh, yeah. Bear for Christmas. I was like, what do you want? He's like, I want one of those sound synthesizers for when we go live. And I'm like, okay. So that's what Santa brought him.
I'm not mad.
Do a demonstration, Bear the Extraordinaire?
Boom. Snap it.
It's like we're doing morning radio.
Oh, we have.
That's because we are doing morning radio.
Okay, now you sound like Kylo Ren.
I don't know. I kind of like this one. You know, it's really.
We have so some people in the comments will make sure we tell them what's going on. They're like, "What is happening?" Hey, so the Downsized is our guest on our show tonight. So we're so excited to have them. We're just doing quick intros so you know who we are, what we do, what we're doing here, and then they're going to be on with us. They're going to be a special guest. We're so glad to have you. We're going live together. Isn't that cool? We could do that and support each other.
Pretty awesome.
Nice, right? Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
I'll hate myself now.
So you saw our spot. If you didn't see our spot, what we do here is we talk about GLP-1 medications. We have people come on and share their story. Kat does fitness. She also does cooking. She's like such a good cook, like high protein recipes. She does how to do fitness at home. We have play videos about that. We're going to have cooking lives and all these different things. So we're so glad to have you. But that is what we do here. And the Plus SideZ podcast has a good hair on YouTube, but we're mostly on Apple and Spotify and audio. And we are an award-winning podcast for social impact work. So we're so glad to have you here with us. And we're also glad to have our guest. I want to make sure I also introduce Amanda. So Amanda is from the GLP-1 Collective. I will not take the space. I would love for you to tell people who you are and how you help people.
Hello, I'm Amanda Bonello from the GLP-1 Collective, which is a charitable nonprofit that has recently received 501c3 tax exempt status. So we are now able to start taking donations, reaching out for partnerships, and getting sponsors, signing up for grants, because we fight for affordable access. And we need affordable access to GLP-1s right now more than ever. With people losing access, we're doing everything that we can to fight back and make sure that people can still get their medication.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
GLP-1
yeah.
evangelist in the house. We're glad to have you guys here. We have a good time here. And we're so excited to have you. Kat, for our friends that don't from Downsized coming over, they don't know you. Who are you? What do you do? How do you help people?
Oh. How do I help it? Well, how do they help? Well, when my microphone is working, I finally just wanted to announce that I finally have a microphone that works. Only it's been 2 years. It's only been 2 years.
Not quite 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Okay. So now I have a microphone. It's fantastic.
I don't think it's big enough, though.
No, it's not.
But it works, and I'm so happy about it. Anyway,
fantastic.
It's not big enough.
And then Bear the Extraordinaire. Who are you? Why are you here? What you doing? How's it going?
I am Bear the Extraordinaire. I am here because I'm told to be here.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how that works when you're married.
Sure.
But it's cool. I'm also here because I have lost about 75 to 80 pounds in the last we've been on this 2.5 years now, babe?
2.5 for me, 2 for you about.
Yeah, about 2 years. I've been on all the medications, so I kind of have a of understanding of how it all goes. And I'm looking forward to us kicking butt and taking names
Heck
and
yeah.
getting these drugs down.
Yep. I like it. Getting these drugs.
I mean, who would
And
have thought
now-
to be on a live talking about, getting our drugs?
Yeah, getting our drugs. Hey, everybody needs their drugs. We shouldn't be so judgmental.
Oh,
I mean, I agree.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's invite in our special guest this
I'm
evening,
excited. Yes.
Yes.
Christopher and Laraine.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Plus SideZ podcast.
Hello, everybody out there.
Hello, I'm Laraine Durham,
And I'm Christopher Durham.
and we're the Downsized. We like to talk about GLP-1 stuff too. Go figure.
Yeah.
So I've lost over 50 pounds on compound Tirzepatide. Christopher?
I am at 98.4 pounds. What is that? No, I'm at I'm at 99.2 pounds this morning.
Do you even know how much?
Right.
Like, you should know, like.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm close to 100.
Get on it, Christopher. Jeez.
Yeah. So after this is, I think, our 76th week on GLP-1. So I've taken compounded Tirzepatide, Zepbound, and Mounjaro pretty much interchangeably across the course of it due to shortages and cost and all the stuff that everybody knows out there.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't tell anybody, but they all work the same. It's a secret.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
I've pretty much only taken compounded. It's worked very well for me. I lost an average of 1.58 pounds per week. My starting weight was 193. My current weight as of this morning was 139. I got in the 130s. Like,
All right.
I don't think I weighed that since about 7th grade. So it's weird.
Yeah. So I started at 286.4 and I'm down almost, I think it's 287, whatever that math is.
He doesn't math.
Yeah, I don't ever know what the math is. Hello, Mel.
Hey, Melvie.
So for our viewers out there that are a little confused, so we are actually right now in the universe on the Plus SideZ podcast on their YouTube channel and wherever else it's going to.
Yeah.
But we're simulcasting
plus sides.
Sorry.
Yes,
The
plus
Z is
sides.
silent.
It's
The Z is silent, right?
Well,
Yep.
it's like sides, like many sides, because it's the plus sides of GLP-1 medication. So, and we just do a Z because plus side was taken.
We're fun.
So we're actually simulcasting to both channels at the same time, but they're in control. So,
only blame us.
Christopher hates to not be in control,
Well,
so y'all know
I mean,
how he is.
Our viewers are used to like saying if they've lost a lot of weight, I have some like confetti I'll throw up and kind of celebrate them and stuff.
That's
So
a
I
shame
can't
you
do
do
that.
that either.
I think we might have to steal some ideas.
All right.
Yeah, no, but it's all good.
He shares night. They're all very nice. They're fantastic.
They are,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you
Very
to
nice.
the Plus Sides for having us on your live tonight.
Yes.
So
So glad to have
welcome
you.
to the Downsized viewers that have come over, and hello to
All
Plus
the
Size
Plus SideZ
viewers that were just now. So it's nice to meet you.
No confetti today, but I will pin you, and we will go huzzah. Okay.
So yeah, sorry, Tina, no confetti today.
Yes.
But I do
Great.
promise to figure out how to do confetti. So
Okay.
Great.
Oh, wow.
We're well, Christopher, I don't know. Christopher,
Don't you get
I don't
confetti?
I don't know. Christopher knows.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It's an animated GIF. It's all good.
When you put your fingers up, don't you get confetti?
Oh no, I can only do like this, and then we get like.
There
Wow,
it is.
Kim gets it.
There
that
it
would
is.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to pop your camera out when
Okay,
someone
that's
says
what we'll
something cool, and you'll
All
just.
right. So
Yes,
Christopher,
Kim,
you let us
we'll
know
do
when
that.
you do it, and then I'll do it.
Good, Kim.
Yep.
Yay!
Look at that, we made it work. See,
Yep. Boom.
I love it.
how many heads are better than one? I don't math either. Clearly.
I love
Okay,
it.
cool. Yes, hi. We're so glad to have you.
Oh, it's Mariella with one L. Hey, Mariella with one L.
More friends too.
Peggy, hello. Yep.
Lots of fun people.
So we're just hanging out today.
So you've told us about kind of like what you've lost. I would love for you to tell us about what you've gained,
What I've gained.
other than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Right?
It's weird because I feel like for my whole life, so I'm a 55-year-old mom of 3 kids, ages 18, 20, and 27.
Yes.
He's old. And so I feel like my whole life I've been on this lose weight quest, right? So I've done the Weight Watchers and the Jenny Craig and the cabbage soup diet and the Atkins and the keto and ran a couple half marathons and like how do I, Weight Watchers, how do I get this weight off? And I could lose weight for short periods of time. Like I could lose 30 pounds here, 40 pounds there, but then I'd gain it back and then some more. And then I'd, get frustrated and rinse and repeat, right? For years and years and years and years. So then we discovered GLP-1s. We started together September of 2023 and it just started working. Like, every week I was losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, which it wasn't fast weight loss, but it was consistent weight loss like I'd never had on any other diet. And I could tell like other things were going on inside, right? So my food noise went away, my appetite, I could get control of my appetite finally. I could be satisfied with less food. And, I was still doing my workouts. I was still trying to eat, healthy, eat better for me kind of stuff. And it just all kind of just came together with these GLP-1 medications. And I just figured out that it wasn't anything I could control, right? What we have learned on this journey is obesity is a disease. And it's our brain fighting, saying, you're going to starve to death. You need to go find food right now because there's a famine coming. So, and we don't need that today in society where there's, McDonald's on every corner and grocery stores. And we don't need that anymore in our evolution. Maybe we're not evolved. Maybe we're still evolving.
Or are we evolved? I don't know, because I feel like we survived the famine.
What have you gained there? Let's ask the question again.
I guess I've gained knowledge that it wasn't my fault, right? That the obesity is a disease and it wasn't my fault. And that knowledge in itself just kind of blew my mind, because all my life I've been told, well, just diet and exercise. Well, just stop eating so much. Well, maybe you should just go for a walk. And none of these things ever, I was trying. I was really trying. But nothing really worked until I discovered these GLP-1s. Hey, Mindy. Mindy does triathlons too.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, Mindy.
So, I guess we've just gained the knowledge through this whole thing that obesity is a disease. It's not your fault.
Right.
Well, and for me, it's because, people ask your why and all that stuff. I got to a point, so I'm 56 years old, that I was a good 100 and even at losing 100 pounds, I'll still be overweight on the BMI scale.
Yeah, but
which we all know is full of shit. But I got to a point where my blood pressure was just going through the roof, and I'd been on blood pressure medicine for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
My cholesterol was bad. I was getting ready to go through sleep apnea testing and all of that stuff. And I realized that my mother passed away from the complications of obesity from a comorbidities only a few years older than I am. So there was a real fear there that I was not going to be around to see my kids get married, to see grandkids, all those things. So what did I gain? Well, I gained
years of your life.
Years of life. And beyond that, just a peace of mind that wasn't there. And, for those of us, if you haven't taken the medication yet, I don't honestly believe there's any way for you to understand it until you start taking it. But that whole conversation around food noise, when it was removed from my head, it gave me so much agency and power that I didn't even know I was missing, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought I had it and it wasn't there. So all of this control came back and time came back and quality came back. That I tell people that, and honestly, unless you've taken these medications, you will never understand.
No.
True.
Which is sad, but true. When my mom started taking it, I remember feeling like such a drug pusher because I was like, I can't wait. I talking to my sister Sam because she's on it too because it's genetic. And I remember I was talking with her and I was like, well, I can't wait to talk to mom when she has the moment, like when the food noise is off and she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just like so excited for her to get to that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, my family, my mom was always on a diet. She was always taking me to a diet place or to Weight Watchers or to wherever growing up. So she managed to keep her weight somewhat at a normal weight. My sister and I are 14 months apart. Same mom and dad, same environment. She was skinny. I was chunky.
Right.
So, same, very similar genetics, but, who knows why one develops one way and one develops the other. So, and my parents, we didn't tell my parents for the first 3 or 4 months. And then we started our YouTube channel. I'm like, guess I should tell them now. Telling the world. So we told them. And the first thing my mom said was, well, are you going to have to take this forever? I'm like, probably.
I've been taking blood pressure and cholesterol medicine forever anyway. What's the difference?
Yeah. So, and that's something people, ask us right off, you're going to have to take this forever, right? And I'm like, yes. And, and what about it? It's a tool to control the disease of obesity. It's not a cure. Yeah. It's a tool.
Absolutely. Oh, we should show your before and after real quick. So
yeah. So we love to cruise. Our downsized folks know we're big cruisers. So
love to cruise.
Yeah. I was probably a little bit over 200 pounds here. Christopher was probably creeping up on 300. And the after picture was us. Was that this past summer? I think it was July of this past summer. So I was completely amazed with our results. I did not expect it to work like it did. This is all just kind of, we're still trying to wrap our heads around it now, about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were just a great, good-looking couple in both pictures. So.
Oh, thank you. We actually just were on a cruise 2 weeks ago. We just got off a cruise, so I'm kind of tan.
Yeah, you're looking so golden. I love it.
Yeah,
I know. I went outside. Cruising is more fun now that you're lighter. Like, what can you do better now or easier?
Oh, the things I can do. I was, at 300 pounds.
Yeah.
if you've done any sort of active things, first of all, a lot of times you just chose not to because steps were an issue. So I wouldn't do the water slides unless I had to, or maybe once, and it was going to be a real challenge.
Walking up the steps.
So, right. So I can go up the slides and go down a water slide with my kid and not be worried about getting my butt stuck coming down. And then beyond that, there were things that I just was over the weight limit on. I couldn't. So like we wanted to go ziplining and they were like, no, you're too big. You just can't do it. I mean, to a point of, on one of the Carnival ships, there's a roller coaster that has a scale outside of it.
Wow.
And it doesn't say your weight on it, but it says red or green. Big red or green flashing light. Well, I'm not standing on that by any. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't even do it now. Like, no way, then. You just never know. Like, did I go to the bathroom yet? Because I mean, like, what if you tip over? It's like, wait, watch your style. Or you're taking over your jewelry before you get on the scale.
Can I take my shoes off to get on? What else? Can I take off my jewelry? Can I take off my watch?
I mean, you know all those things. It's I did a short the first time we flew, and I never had to have a seatbelt extender, but I was right there on the edge. I was almost there.
I understand that.
I put on the seatbelt and just kind of on the airplane and just kind of went like this, like, holy shit. Excuse me. And I did a short. I'm like,
I got the when we would travel before, we would sit across the aisle from each other because I didn't want to sit in the middle seat. He didn't want to sit in the middle seat. So we went somewhere recently and I said, why are we still sitting across the aisle from each other? Like now I'd rather sit in the middle seat next to you.
I agree. That's what I do now too. Yeah.
We just fit, it just fit better in airplane seats and on roller coasters and on the zip line, and it's just a whole new
zip line. That's cool. I've yet to do that. I only just now hit to where like I'm not too heavy to do that, to be honest. Like I think it's like 250 or something like that. And so I always wanted to, and like it just looks really fun. Have you guys done that since you lost weight?
Yeah, we went to one in Mexico.
In Cozumel.
Well, it wasn't anyway, Mexico, where it was 9 zip lines and you climbed a tower. You climbed all the way and then you zipped and then you went up and then there was like 9, you kept going up. And then the last one you landed, was that in water?
Yeah.
That one landed in water. And just the climbing of the stairs was a lot, like even at the weights we are now. And we mid stairs were like, dang, we could have never done this, at our before weights. So, it's pretty, it's also terrifying because they're like,
I'm getting anxiety.
And I'm like,
this. Yeah.
I mean, beyond that, just honestly, the snoring and the sleep apnea is gone. It doesn't. I sleep so much better, and which just changes your entire day. You wake up and you're not tired.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's amazing.
The sleep really, and he would wake me up because he would snore so loudly. I mean, I'd be like, wake up, you're snoring. And he hasn't snored in maybe a year. Like that kind of went away within the first 20, 30 pounds, I think.
Yeah, it did.
So that was great. That was great.
Dana, feel free. You can ask us questions. We're I think all happy to interact and do this together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ask all the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to help.
Well, you guys have been doing this for a long time. It's 2 years, right? And so, I mean, how did you get started doing the podcast?
Yeah. I was, so when we started it, I've seen a lot of, this is so weird to talk about this, like being a long time, but 2 years ago, there were not people creating, there were very few people that were creating about GLP-1 medications, which seems insane now, right? Because we have all these channels and things. But I'm a product marketer. So that's my background. I'm a technology or security product marketer. So I take very complex things and break them down into things that are more digestible, if you will. No pun intended, although maybe I should have. But that's what I do, right? And so I saw this big problem because I started taking this medicine for our new people here 2.5 years ago. And when I started to have the food noise turn off, I was like, oh my God, I have to tell everyone. And then I was also like, I need to know everything. Like, because there's no way it was our fault. Like, there was no freaking way, you know? And so I was like, everybody needs to know this. There's no way there aren't people out there just like me. Well, there are. There are millions of people out there just like me.
Yeah.
And so Kat and I and another girl, Janine from our community, started the podcast, and we did maybe 12 episodes. And then it was when the savings card was going away, like to be completely gone away. And I did a duet of Rosie O'Donnell, and I asked her to come on the show, and she came on the show.
Oh,
and
wow.
duetted it and all of
Heck
that.
yeah.
And so it was really cool. Because it kind of blew us up, but we're more big on like on the audio piece than we are here on YouTube. We're trying to change that. Christopher's helping. Yeah. But yeah, that's why we started it. It's just that we felt it was a bigger conversation than you could have in a 3-minute TikTok, you know, at the time.
Yeah.
And it just was when I kind of saw like, I kind of, you know, I kind of saw like people telling their stories about this life-changing situation. We all kind of started as like accountability on TikTok, right? Like we were talking about, you know, like shot days and weigh-in days, you know, like we're Mac trucks, like, cause it's a classic diet culture. Cause that's what we know. That's what we know,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And then we all started having these like revelations when we're on the medicine, like, are you guys noticing how quiet it is? You know? And we were making videos like that. And so I saw people doing this, and then I saw doctors that were like creating content over here, like about studies and stuff within 3 minutes video. And I'm like, what if we could put those together? What's possible if we could marry those two stories together, you know? And that's what we do on the plus side. So we have on someone usually that'll come on and talk about their story. And then we have on a doctor that will validate that story with facts, science, and data. And so that's what we do. So we bring in people like you, and now we've had more creators. So we have on creators, we have people that are not creators that come on to tell their story. And we just really love the work. And Kat and I have had a lot of healing during this work.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very healing journey.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely a healing journey. You guys were talking about food noise, and you know, everybody's talked about food noise. And for me, as an autistic person, the thing that was really amazing with the drug, with taking this medication, was it didn't just turn off food noise, it turned off all noise in my head.
Wow.
Like everything that I have in my mind as an autistic person, the constant questioning and just kind of oddities that run in my mind, it stopped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Amazing.
just phenomenal for me to see that happen, because I never noticed food noise or really thought of it even the first time Kim had mentioned it and talked about it, because it's there's so much going on in my mind in the first place.
Yeah.
But to hear everything shut off, that's the first time in the last 2 years that I've been on this medication that my mind is 90% of the time completely quiet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've never heard anyone describe that from a autism or a spectrum point of view. So thanks for sharing that. That's really great.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's if they're doing any research with autistic people, or
haven't heard anything.
Not that they've talked about yet, but I hope they are, because
it sounds like a great idea. I mean,
It seems like we've heard some studies on, you know, some mental health studies, like with depression and things like that. But I haven't
seen any autism.
But autism, that's a great.
I love the anxiety piece. I will say, like, I've been on all of them as well because of the shortage and stupid ass insurance. But don't make me the sinner. I'm always going to talk about something. Yeah, but like I have felt that way too, and like I think that what's been fascinating is the difference that I feel on all of them, because they all kind of work different. Oh, that's so great.
Thanks, Mel.
You're proud of our friends. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Mel. I love it. And I had anxiety control, I feel like, better on Ozempic than I did on any of the other ones. But I had inflammation control better on Mounjaro than I did the other ones. You know? Yeah.
I actually had to go back on my anxiety meds when I was on it. We've talked about this a lot on our episodes. What the GLP-1 did, it just turned the treble up and the volume down a little bit, but it's still there for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there was a certain point where I did ask my doctor, like, hey, I think I'm good. Release me from the Prozac. And about 4 months later, I was like, get me the beep back on this drug. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But it's a much lower dosage, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's quite interesting. Like, it's so different for each person. It's so
Hmm.
fascinating.
It really is. And it's almost like not everybody's body is the same.
Go figure, right?
Right? Yeah.
I'm on Wellbutrin, and I'm finding that I feel amazing, and I don't want to stop taking the Wellbutrin anytime soon.
Mhm.
I do feel mental clarity and like emotionally happier, and just like
Yeah.
the Wellbutrin is making me feel well, guys.
Oh,
That's good.
good. It's been around a long time, that
Exactly.
medicine.
Yeah, it
And
should.
I was
It's a
using
good
it
one.
prior to starting the meds, but yeah, my doc asked me about it, and I was like, let's not stop that because I feel great. Let's
Yeah.
just keep that going.
Why? Yeah.
Well, and sometimes that medicine is humming along in the background, like
Mhm.
the Tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound. You get to a certain level on the medication, and you're like, is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it working?
You don't
I'm
know
on week
until it's
75.
gone.
Is it still?
Mhm.
I'm still taking a weekly dose of
Yeah.
a 7.5 milligram. Should I spread it out? Should
Mhm.
I decrease the dose?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay where I'm at and, let the scale kind of tell me if I'm in the right direction or not. And I think it's maybe the same with, other mental health, the Wellbutrins and the Prozacs and things like that. It's still, it's still humming along there in the background. And
I think the challenge is you feel better. So you think, well, maybe I'm better.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe I'm not really obese
am
anymore.
I
Maybe I'm
cured?
not.
Am I cured?
It's
Well,
over.
I
Huzzah!
I don't
Need some confetti.
yeah.
There we go. Confetti.
Christopher
I
always
demand more
says,
confetti.
better living through medication, right? And we live
Mhm.
in the modern world with cars and air conditioning, and we don't need to drive ourselves everywhere. We could walk places, but we live in the modern world, so we drive. So we live in the modern world. So I'm gonna keep taking my compounded Tirzepatide and my Wellbutrin.
Yes.
You better,
Right.
you better know.
You gotta plug your mochi while you're here.
If it isn't broke,
All right.
don't try to fix it. If
Right.
it's all working the way that you feel great,
Right.
don't touch it.
Yeah.
Right.
How did you guys feel when you hit your first stall in the medicine?
Did you ever have a stall?
I didn't have a stall.
You never had a stall. That's
No, I keep a spreadsheet
Oh wow.
That's funny.
because I want to
it.
know. Like, if somebody asks me, "How was your week 26?" I can tell you, But
and what she was doing that week, and whether it was her period, and what the weather was, and
by the way, I don't have those anymore. No, just FYI. But so I went through a lot on this
Perimenopause
journey,
now.
right? I went through a whole. At 55, 54, I was like, "Is this ever gonna go into this menopause I hear tales of?" Well, I think the Tirzepatide cleared the way for that to happen. Anyway,
And actually, yeah, I think
we digress. But
I get it.
yeah, no, I skipped a couple of shots. I skipped a shot in the beginning because we were going on a cruise with some friends, and I had the drink package, and I wanted to have a good time. So I skipped the shot, and I went up a couple of pounds, but then I came home and took the shot and went right back down. So I kind of tell people, if you're in a stall, go eat a cheeseburger and up your calories for a minute and see if that gets things moving again. I am not a doctor. This is not scientific.
One on TV, right?
I like Shake Shack. Your results may vary. But sometimes I think we get to eating on too low a level because we're just so appetite suppressed, and you don't realize, oh, I've only had a piece of chicken breast at lunch today, and now it's 7 p.m. and I'm starving, so I think sometimes we need to try to eat at a higher level and just keep our body guessing on how many calories are coming in.
For sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think we interviewed Dr. Dan from Canada a couple of weeks ago, and his statement was a stall was 0 pounds for 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks. If I was at 0 pounds for 4 weeks, oh no, like
yeah, I didn't never have a 0 pounds for 4 weeks. I had a few weeks where it might have stayed flat, or I might have gone up a pound. But then when I looked at it on a monthly basis, I was still down for the month. I was still, the kind of such that I started, I think my first month, it was 17 pounds of weight loss. Well, you lose 100 pounds. It's a higher
average.
It's a higher percentage of your body. And that the last 20 pounds has been slow. It's just been 0.25, 0.5, 0.1, point whatever. And people are like, well, what do you do? What do you do? I'm like, first of all, patience is your friend.
Totally.
And it's the hardest thing in the world. Second, to plug Mochi, if there's Mochi people out, Mochi added that 16.6 dose
thumbs
at the
up.
highest level. It was a little bump I needed.
Little bump. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a bump I think I would be interested in.
See?
Yeah.
Doses.
I mean, just that little bit of medicine, and I was like, oh, this is working now.
Mochi,
You know what's interesting about that is, like, I think that's the perfect thing right there, is that what you were just like pointing out is, were you in more of a deficit? Like, when that happened, did you feel yourself eat less, or
No.
you were doing the same, right?
I was doing the same stuff.
This man never tracked a calorie a day in his life.
Nope.
So, but he has really gone away from fast food, from a lot of carbs, from a lot of things where I'm like,
I mean, I
like bread.
I do the simplest version of this possible, and people always want it. Well, what's your secret? I don't have a secret. I take the shot every week. I've only missed one in 75 weeks because I had a colonoscopy. That's the only one I missed. And I didn't like that one. I would have taken it if, if it wouldn't have caused bigger issues. Beyond that, I don't do any protein powders, protein bars. I don't take any supplements beyond a multivitamin every day. And I eat real food. Chicken, salmon, vegetables, protein first, vegetables, a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat, and I move on. That's all I do.
Yep.
People are like, that's it. I'm like,
I love a protein powder. I love a protein drink. I love a protein cookie. I had one a little while ago.
Good.
I
like the Quest protein cookies.
See, I'm very similar to Christopher. I just eat like I've always eaten. I have a hamburger. I have chicken sandwiches. I make sure I get the bread in, but I've always been a heavy protein eater. I'd rather have meat than anything else. Give me a steak, give me seafood. I'll eat the other stuff, but I'd rather have a juicy piece of meat.
And sometimes I feel like, it's maybe men or maybe a little bit more protein heavy, maybe naturally. I mean, I was existing on Kashi bars and Yoplait yogurt for like years, right? On Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
It was 2 points for this and 2 points for that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize all the sugar and it just wasn't the right mix of things, right? So I think as women, we're always trying to like find the magic combination of foods that are going to unlock the secrets of the universe, when really it was just our appetites driving us to eat what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what's in the pantry right now, what can I drive across town and get. Like once
GLP-1 deficiency.
Once that's calmed down, for me, I find like the combination of foods doesn't really matter. I can pretty much eat carbs if I want to in small quantities, you know what I mean? I do focus on protein, but I had some multigrain Cheerios for breakfast this morning with a high protein Fairlife milk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to work back into those foods that I always thought were
in full maintenance
dangerous.
now too.
Yeah, I'm in maintenance, but I don't think any food should be off limits. I think you should eat what you like.
Yep.
But just in smaller quantities. And that was always the hard part, right? Because before, when I had a donut, I wanted to eat the whole box of donuts.
Agreed.
Now I can eat one and be like, oh, that's enough.
Utterly
don't
bizarre.
want any more of
Agreed.
that.
Yeah.
Who
It
am
happened to
I?
me like
What
that.
happened?
Who
Yeah,
am I?
last week I had a donut and the old me would be like, "Oh, I want another one." And the thought of eating another one made me want to like vomit. I was like, "Oh,
Right.
no, actually no, no thanks."
Right.
One's
It
enough.
just it doesn't light up my brain. The sugar doesn't light up
Just
my
light up
brain.
your life anymore.
Right.
Food's not like that high anymore,
I
right?
don't get that high from it. I still like those things. They still
Agreed,
taste
agreed.
good.
Yeah.
But
Some of them don't.
then it gets to a point with the
Yeah.
sugar where it's like, ugh, yeah, I don't want any more of that. And that's kind of a great way to like cut it off. Cause I mean, I was just I could eat. I never got full. I never wanted to stop eating. Like I'd finish one meal and then go look in the pantry for something else. Like it was just constant.
Well, we had a great surgeon on one of the episodes towards the beginning. Weight loss surgeon, Dr. Rosen, he's out of New York, isn't he, baby?
Yes, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
lower east side.
Yeah, Lower East Side,
To
and
be exact, right?
he said the most amazing thing on that episode about how our bodies are just always working against us because that food noise is just our body thinking that we haven't eaten anything, we're not full enough, so we've got to eat enough to avoid that famine like you were talking about. So it's
Right.
it's that constantly working against us, and as soon as we get that GLP-1 deficiency taken care of and that food makes it all the way to the end of our intestine, it's like, oh yeah, we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. So now if we want that cookie, if we want that donut, or we want that Subway sandwich, we just eat it until we're full, which doesn't take that long.
Right.
And we finally eat like everybody else eats.
Right.
Because that deficiency of our body going, oh no, keep going. There's nothing at the end of the intestine. Doesn't exist.
Exactly.
That was really cool because like he was literally showing us with his hands. I wish we had like a clip of it where he was like, "Let me show you what I do when I do a bariatric surgery," right? And he was talking about how when he does a sleeve, what it looks like and what's happening. And he was like explaining to us. I don't know if you guys know this. So I'm happy to share, but he was explaining to us that at the bottom of the intestine, that's where GLP-1 is, right? So when they do the surgery, they're bringing that up here. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, you did it just like it. Yeah.
So naturally within your body, GLP-1 rises and it stays up for like 3 years or so. And then a lot of people will have food noise return. And that's why many of our friends that have had surgery are now on GLP-1 because like half of the people that have surgery regain because it's a chronic disease. Like it's a chronic, like progressive disease at that. Dr. Rosen shares great data indeed.
Yes. I love that. There's so many Dr. Rosen fans on here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
a
Plus SideZ bestie, that's for sure.
I will always sing his praises.
Yeah, I didn't know that about the bariatric that it was connecting at a different that I mean that makes a lot of sense because I always wondered like
that's how they figured it out. That's how they figured it out, Laraine. Like he said that's how they reverse engineered it. Because he said that according to like, because they have to do all these studies, they have to keep up with all the studies and all things, especially when they're in school and their boards and all that. He was saying that they were having people that were coming in for gastric bypass surgery and that they had diabetes and obesity. But before they left the hospital, their A1C was under control. So clearly it wasn't the weight that was causing the A1C issue, right? So they were like looking like they were in remission, but they hadn't lost anything or they only lost a little because they were in the hospital. So he was like, that was when they started to be like, how can we replicate this? How can we reverse engineer this? And that's how we got where we're at now, 20 years later.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's fascinating.
Right?
Amazing for sure.
Craze started 213. Oh, the day. Okay. And I'm down 18 pounds. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all right, Chad.
To break that 100.
Kim, confetti.
That's cool.
Confetti.
Oh, confetti. All right, quick. Someone put me in the middle. Someone put me in the middle so we can do confetti. Ready? Yay! See, we can do it. I love it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So
yeah,
cool.
those GLP-1s, our bodies just don't make enough of them. They don't last. They don't last long enough. So the compounded, well, for me, compounded tirzepatide really just fills that right in, and my gut can now tell my brain, "Hey, you're full. Stop eating."
Yeah, absolutely.
What a concept.
I know, right? It's cool. I mean, it's like, I think I find it fascinating just to hear the doctors when they can explain it in a way that we can like understand, you know, because I do think we
Yeah.
need to understand our disease, because I don't think this is the end. I think we're always going to be having to advocate to try to get access. Like, I just think that, you know, and I don't know if it's going to be, if the answer is we do compounded versions and we're able to get away with that. I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about that. I hope we are, like, because technically we had the CEO of the Pharmacy for Compound Alliance, or Alliance for Compound Pharmacies.
Alliance for Compounding
Yeah.
Pharmacies.
He's fantastic on our show. And he was basically saying, actually being able to do custom doses and custom formulations is exactly where compound pharmacies are meant for. So technically, like, if we're all playing by the rules, patent police, technically,
That 16.5, right? Could
I'm just saying, if we're going technical, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so, you know, ours is compounded with niacinamide, which is a B vitamin. It's different doses than the Eli Lilly standard doses. We did an interview with the CEO of Mochi Health, who's our online provider, and I asked her, I said, "What, you know, is this going to go away? What's the future of compounding?" She said, "It's not going away. I'm not worried about it at all." I'm like, "Oh yeah?" She goes, "No, 100%, like no worries." And I'm like, "Okay, Dr. Myra."
All right.
I'll keep reordering it.
I am not that confident. Stock up if you can.
Well, I mean, now Mochi does
that's
offer the 1 month dose, the 3 month supply, and the 6 month supply. So you better know we got some supply in our fridge down there. But you know, I'm just gonna keep going until I need to change course. And if I have to change course, I'll figure that out at some point. Our insurance does not cover weight loss medications, right? So when I first got Christopher, he got a prescription for Ozempic before we even started this. We went to the pharmacy, $1,000. What? Like, huh? You know, so that's why
I
we
never
went
took
compound,
Ozempic.
right?
We just said no, thank you.
Yeah,
We couldn't afford it at the time.
How does anybody afford that? That's crazy talk. So
it is crazy talk. It is crazy talk. I think that's why it's cool that we have like options for anybody that is looking. I know we Plus SideZ has people we affiliate with. When we have our guest on, if they have someone they affiliate with, like, I want you to know about it. Will you share your code for our guests if they want to look into Mochi?
Yes, you can use my code and save $40 on your first order. It is QIYG, the letter O, and 8. And you go to joinmochi.com and put in my code. You save $40. I save $40.
Great.
La.
And the link is in the description on our channel.
On our channel. If you go to our
channel,
channel, it's in every video we've made. So yeah. But yeah, I've used them for over a year. No worries. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Myra was one of the first doctors that was creating on TikTok with us. She was one of the first ones that was like, "Hey, you want to talk about data and why this isn't your fault?" And I remember we had her on the show in season 1. We had her on 2 different times. And one time we talked about compound, and there were not a lot of doctors that were willing to talk about compound. And she was like, "Talk about it." And she came forward, and she also brought a compound pharmacist with her. And we dug in deep into what compound is on that episode, because people were villainizing it. I mean, they were like, "Don't do it." And we were like, "Wait a minute. We need to figure out what this is and what it's not." And they came forward, and it was a very good episode. You guys can check that out. Season 1. It's literally called "What is Compound Semaglutide and Compound Tirzepatide," so that we can understand what it actually is. And we really do dig in there and understand all of it. And Dr. Rosen's on that episode as well.
She is.
But I was very thankful that she came forward. And she's funny because she's like, "I'll eat," and I'm probably not quoting her right, but she was like, she's like, "I'm telling you, there's something to this," because she's like, "I eat like a trash panda. I eat whatever I want, and I don't gain weight." She's like, "So like it's biological. Like we have to quit thinking about it like any other way, you know?"
Yeah.
And it's cool to hear that. Like, it's very validating, you know?
Yeah. And she's young too. She's 28. She started her company 3 years ago. I said, "Oh, have you always been interested in obesity medicine?" She goes, "No." Oh yeah. Really? Tell me more. And she said, "This was my thesis that I wrote at MIT. I wrote my thesis on this, on starting this company. And then I started this company."
Awesome.
And I was like, "You go, girl."
She's a boss.
So yeah, it's
I've never
Amazing.
eaten this clean before. What I've noticed more than anything is that the food noise, I'm doing this for our audio audience friends,
Yeah.
being gone, as well as actually craving healthy options. This stuff changes the way we think. I'm telling you, it really does.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I
Dr.
mean, that's
Rosa
what
dropped
the
some in.
doctors tell us a lot, friend, is that the difference between these medications, right, and all the ones we've taken in the past is the ones we've taken in the past for weight loss, they were only treating the hunger, which is just a symptom, right? Everybody has hunger, but we had we were ravenous, right? Like we were thinking about food all the time. Even when we weren't eating it, we were thinking about, a lot of us, like we were having a meal, we'd be thinking about what we're going to eat our next meal. We weren't even done with our first meal yet, right?
Right.
This medicine actually treats the biological dysfunction. So when people say, oh, is this just forcing you in a calorie deficit? No, it's way more than that. Sure, that's part of it, right? But the fact that that's great. I love that. Thank you. It's way more than that. And I think that it's important that people understand that as you go through this journey, because I think when you start, you're like you were talking about, Laraine, right? Where you're like, oh, I was, dieting and this and that, right? And I think that I just want people to understand you don't have to, right? Like if you want to do that, I want everybody to feel empowered to do so, right?
Right.
If you like, I think for me, like I just focused on micro wins in the beginning. Like I was just like, I'm going to keep up with my laundry. I'm going to keep up with my dishes. Like that's it. And I'm just going to eat a little less. And then I started being more intentional, Yeah. And I actually think that is another reason why I was successful this time. And I say this time is the last time. I hope so, But I think that that's what I've seen, right? And I think everybody's journey is different though, because I have friends that are diabetics that they have to eat a diet. I mean, they have to lose weight regardless of what medicine they take. And everybody's body's different. It really is.
Yeah, it's different for diabetics from what we understand. We have a few that watch our show and have helped us to understand.
It's the primary reason you say we're not doctors,
right?
Because that is a whole separate set of issues that we don't know, and you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. So.
Yeah. Right. And I like what you said about micro wins. Sometimes it's all you can do in a day to move the laundry from the washer to the dryer, right? Okay, yay. I got something accomplished today.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that yes, I want to eat health. I like to eat whole foods. I do try to incorporate those things in my diet, but I like all foods, right? So I don't want to eliminate any food. I just can't have everything all the time, right? So I just have to figure out what I can have in small quantities, what works for me. Maybe, certain foods I only eat once a month or on special occasions or, and that's okay. You want to enjoy, I want to enjoy, my birthday's next week. I want to enjoy a piece of birthday cake on my birthday.
Yeah. Memories over macros, right? And
and not have it be 30 points on Weight Watchers. Like a piece of birthday cake on Weight Watchers is like 32 points. Like that's more than you get in a day for all your points. Like,
Piggy, you're the man, Piggy. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Love it. I remember counting, speaking of Weight Watchers, I'll never forget. I think it was like, I did this, an entire bottle of wine, I think was like 22 points, and you best... Guilty. He's guilty.
See, I was Krispy Kreme donut. I'd be like,
here's 5 points on the old plan. I think now it's like 7 or 8. Oh yeah. Talking about the wine, I would save my points for wine on the weekend, right? Because you could bank points. You could. I did so many crazy game playing things with.
I still.
It's crazy.
Are you?
But on the medication now, it took away that 5 o'clock. It's wine time. It's wine. I don't have that urge anymore. I don't drink
like I used to. I still I still love my wine, but
right. I like a glass of wine. If I have 2, I don't feel so great. 3, forget it. It's over. A whole bottle, like that's completely out of the question now. Where before, I could go through a couple bottles on the weekend. It was getting to a point, especially in 2020, where there's, everybody was doing it, Mom. I was just doing what everybody else was doing, right? But now it's completely eliminated those empty calories that I craved. At the end of the day, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, well, they've shown
too that he's an alcoholic and that he hasn't had any since he started.
Wow.
Mr. Mitchell, good for you, man.
Wow, that's awesome.
Fantastic. Oh, confetti time. Hold on.
Confetti.
You're ready, confetti. Hold on.
Definitely confetti.
Ready? Here it comes.
Yay.
We can also do fireworks. Ready?
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
fun.
I love it.
And they've
That's
also
cool.
shown in studies that these drugs do help with
Yes.
the addiction thing. I don't think they've found out exactly how it helps, but they have discovered that it does help. And then I just wanted to say one thing. I think Peggy Asmore had made a comment in regards to them coming after people after the compounds not prescribing or submitting B12 together separately from the other drug, because there's a lot of things that do that. Kind of one of the great things that doctors are able to do and should be able to do is they can say it's medically necessary that you have that B12 at the same time as the Tirzepatide or Semaglutide to help with any number of things. The only thing that's going to get in the way with this for a lot of these places are going to be the telehealths that don't have a doctor involved. If they don't have a doctor involved in it, it could get a little bit tricky. But as long as you're seen by a doctor and the doctor says, hey, this is medically necessary for this specific reason, they can't get in the way of those specialized drugs being created by a compound, because that is what a compound traditionally has always done.
Yeah.
They've made those one-offs that the drug companies do not produce.
Well, you know what? And I think Lilly knows that. I think what Lilly also knows is they have millions of dollars and they're going to throw so many lawyers at it.
Yeah.
They're just hoping that half of them will go away. They're
Yeah,
just like,
absolutely. And a lot of them have rolled up and gone home. A lot of those telehealth providers aren't there anymore. They got scared. So
more are popping up every time I turn around now. I think what it is like in terms of where they're getting their compound and if the telehealth is ready, it's just my opinion. I think that this is based on no medical advice at all, by the way. But I think that it's going to be, are we willing to fight them in court? Because I can't imagine.
Oh yeah.
Come, right? Like that's what it comes down to. They're coming. You know what I mean? But are we willing to spend the money and the time to defend against them when they're trying to defend their patent? And I think that's what it'll come down to. And you're just like you said, they have billions of dollars and resources.
Well, they do, but it's also important to realize though too with it is the FDA has already kind of come out and told Eli Lilly and I think Novo Nordisk both, hey, there's some things that you guys can't sue for. And I think
it's in shortage. That was that's like the issue, right? Is that if it's not in shortage.
But I think the same thing's going to happen with this too, because this falls, I think, very neatly within the purpose of the compound pharmacy.
It does.
So I think we have a possibility, especially with some people who are in the government, of it being stepped forward and said, hey, this actually is why these things exist. Right. So no, you can't sue for this because this is what they exist for. It could get tricky because the doctor's going to have to prove the medical necessity of it.
Right.
But I honestly think that this will be one instance where they step in and they say, hey, you may want to sue for this, but you can't.
Eli Lilly can't enforce the law. The FDA enforces the law. So if the compounding pharmacies, like you said, Bear, are following compounding regulations,
I
think you've got a good point there.
I live in a space where I think we have to hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're not planning for the worst, you might end up with no medication, and I can't do that today. I need to.
Oh yes, you do not take my medicine away from me. No.
Old dead hand.
Okay. Well, this long conversation about B12 being mixed in really ties into our news tonight, and you guys are you're killing me because I just want to be like, what did you know?
Okay, wait, let me do confetti for our friend here who's talking about being sober and
7 months. 6 years.
Ready? All right, we're gonna do fireworks. Come on.
10 years.
That's
there you go.
Yay! There we go. All right. Now we got to talk about the tea.
All right. Do you
Are you
want
doing the
to break
little?
for a little bit of footage?
Oh, that's right. Oh, wait, no. We got to do, we're going to do bean
Beautiful
footage.
bean footage.
Bean footage, our beautiful bean
Let's view
footage.
that
our
beautiful
sponsors, our
bean
lovely sponsors.
footage.
And then we'll do our segments. Hang with us,
All
guys.
right.
We appreciate your patience.
Here you go. Here you go.
Food has definitely been a very dominant voice in my head. That's not the main focus anymore. Dieting, exercising, and adding GLP-1s through Row is a game changer. I have such a sense of mental freedom since I started with Row. Food no longer controls my thoughts. Family time used to revolve around food, and now it revolves around what we're gonna go do together.
Quick things before we start about Row. I want to make sure everybody knows that Row will prescribe to Lilly Direct and can prescribe up to 10 milligrams of the the Zepbound vials. So just know that you can do that. They will also work with your insurance and try to get it approved through your insurance. So just know if you go to row.co/plussides, you can fill out their form and go through their process, and they will try to do that for you. So if you're trying to go that route, it's an excellent option. And then they do have compound semaglutide as well, if that's something that you want to do. They have an excellent program. This is a host readout, and I love Row. Yay! Confetti for Row! And then also we have friends at Emerge. Emerge is also a telehealth, and I'll link everything in the comments as well. But Emerge is kind of cool. They're a little bit different too, because that's what's so cool. So it all depends on what you're looking for. They don't have a monthly fee the way that Row and some other places do, which is fine, right? You pay for your medicine, but they do have these weekly wellness sessions where people like myself and other people either on the journey, nutritionalists, everything come and try to guide you. So if you want to sign up with them, I have a code which is Plus SideZ as well, and it's from Emerge. So if that's what you're into, if you're in this kind of sort of community support, it's an excellent option. So look into either one. And Mochi's great too. They're all great. Okay. Huzzah.
Thanks, Kim.
Kim out. I'm such a nerd. Amanda, tell us about the GLP high tea.
So we know that Tirzepatide is going to be going away in the basic form, and we know that semaglutide has a ticking little time bomb on it too. We just discussed how some companies are mixing B12 with it. Well, some of them are starting to do hormone replacement therapy. And I don't know if that's like super well known, but they're mixing testosterone. They're using, what is it called? Help me out here, guys.
Estrogen and progesterone.
Estrogen. Thank you. Yes. And they're supposed to be really good for perimenopause, which I know you've been talking about, and for menopause.
So you mean I can get? Wait, are you telling me in my estrogen patch I could get Tirzepatide in my? Oh,
there's no approved
no.
There are people selling it,
but you can get your estrogen in your Tirzepatide.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at doing now.
Like compounded those two together?
And Dr. Myra mentioned that when we interviewed her.
Yeah, it's becoming
because I have an estrogen patch and I take the progesterone pill. So yeah, combo
together.
I have heard of there's some menopause clinics here locally because I work out with somebody who goes to this place, and they have her on 2 milligrams or 1.5 of Tirzepatide for her perimenopause.
Oh, that microdosing.
Yeah,
that ugly head again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Yeah. We know that they've been doing hormone replacement therapy for like IVF and fertility, but to be mixing it with GLP-1s is supposed to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of companies like Hims that are getting into it right now.
Are they? Oh.
They are, yeah, trying to expand access so that they don't, they're not taken completely out of the game.
Yeah,
so it'll be really interesting to see what they come up with next. But it does look like there's a 30% weight loss increase.
Wow.
When it's mixed with hormones, with hormone therapy replacement.
What?
So,
Wow.
Yeah,
Like a
that was
lot.
just one
Maybe
study.
up to 30%.
No, 30% increase from the weight loss, not moves it up to 30%.
It leads to 30% more.
Gotcha.
Which is still really big. But again, that was just one study, so we'll be seeing a lot more coming out soon. But with all the B12 talk, I was like, ooh, but guys, did you know?
Yeah.
Testosterone.
I think
Because
my
it's so
only
interesting.
issue with that is like, has any of that been studied? Like I mean, but I'm cool with it. Like, here's the thing. I'm all about you doing what you want to do with your body. I am. It's your body, your choice. I am like that. But I think that we have to consider the fact, like, before you do it, you should know if it's been studied or not. And if you're okay with it, if it hasn't been studied, then okay. But don't let anybody know that it's been studied. You know
Well,
what
but
I'm
I'm sure before the compound pharmacies really get behind it and start doing it to a large degree, that there'll be, a few more studies that are done. 'Cause I can imagine those
I don't
two.
think there are any studies being done. This
There's
is
I think
said that
Dr.
they've done
Toomer said
studies.
something to the effect like that is a
Yeah.
potential to.
Amanda, didn't you say that they've already had one study, and that one study was the one that showed an increase of 30%?
interesting.
Yes.
Can you tell us
Yeah.
where you got that so we can have our people be able to go and look?
So it's called Axion. Hold on a second. Let me find this source.
Combining them as risky as you need to see
Axion.
what you can tolerate or not. Yeah, I mean, that's a good
Axios.
point, Lady Alex. It's interesting.
Axios.com.
That's not it.
Yeah.
They're talking about how online GLP-1 sales fuel hormone replacement therapy because they're all trying to stay in the space instead of
Yeah.
getting taken out completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's definitely talk,
Yeah.
like on LinkedIn with the doctors and stuff about how
I saw them
it's
talking
a
about that.
scary thing. Yeah, how it's scary, and some were like fighting about how it's a bad thing, but I think that access is a good thing, and they definitely do need to be doing some studies to make sure that they're safe. But if you're taking hormone replacement therapy already, if you need it, I wonder, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
Piggy.
Yeah, Piggy. Yeah, I think that, the doses that have been studied are the Eli Lilly doses, right? 2.55, 7.5, and on up. So the microdoses, I know there's some people online that talk about microdoses. I don't think we can really put our hands on a study that would confirm for some people, like if you have a very severe reaction to a 2.5 milligram dose of Mounjaro Zepbound, maybe a microdose might work for you in some instances. Everybody's different. The dose that works for you is going to be different than the dose that works for somebody else. So in that case, perhaps, but it's really not, microdoses really haven't been studied or tested on the scale that the other doses have.
And the hormones, I don't know, we do, we have a gentleman who's a molecular biologist named Condi Carmack, who we've done an interview with. He's floating around, and he's doing a monthly series for us. And he has been a molecular biologist. He's 77 years old. He worked for a bunch of the big drug companies. And I have no idea what he would say, but I'm going to ask him.
Yes. I mean, he'd be a good one.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. Again, like I'm all for access. I just don't, I think that a lot of times people are like, and I think listen, I know I get on my box, but I think it's like the whole idea of weight loss, like the fact that we call them weight loss medicines, they're not, right? They work for the most part on you because you have a disorder, because you have a dysfunction within your body and it regulates it, right? But because we call it, thank you, Amanda, because we call it that, people think it's proven safe for weight loss, and they don't understand that it maybe hasn't been tested. That being said, we did have a doctor, the head of Found, which is telehealth, that was just on our show. We had that episode up now. And she was specifically telling us, Dr. Kumar, I think is how you pronounce her name. It's been a few weeks. Yeah. Okay. So make sure. And she came on our show and she was telling us like, yeah, but I mean, like, I get what you're saying. She's like, but we've been using this on patients for years. We've been using GLP-1 on patients that don't have obesity for weight loss for years.
I remember that. Yeah, because I asked that question, like, why is it? Yeah.
Right. So it's just like something to think about. So like it's been studied in the wild, right? It just hasn't been in like a controlled study,
No
right?
clinical tests. Yeah, right. Well, and I think, back to what Amanda was saying before in terms of access, when we can confirm that it works for sleep apnea, right? It helps sleep apnea, it helps cardiac disease, it helps diabetes, obviously. So if it can get, and that's what the CEO of Eli Lilly was saying, they want it to be, what am I trying to say?
Oh, here's actually Condi just commented. Cancer obesity connection. That's Condi.
Condi's watch. Hey, Condi. There are no clinical trials or data on microdosing or for combinations like estrogen and the GLP-1.
Thank you.
So maybe it's been, maybe a doctor has prescribed it, without, off label or whatever, but there's no clinical trials. And I think that's why Eli Lilly wants to get it approved for sleep apnea, for cardiac disease, kidney disease, and then that way people can access it through other.
Here's the thing: for as much as it's nice to have the option of compounding, and we're certainly supportive of compounding pharmacies, and it's done well for us, it is not the long-term play to accessibility.
Yeah,
it's just not. So Lilly and Novo trying to get it covered for more comorbidities and prices coming down on the price and more competitors are the long-term play. Compounding isn't it. It's just sorry that it was never designed to be a 5-year thing where you prescribed it to 20 million people. That was not. They didn't even imagine that when the laws were written.
Right.
And it's only because they screwed the pooch that it happened to begin with, to be honest. But I mean, it's like they did because they continued to go to market in other countries when they had shortages here. And the biggest market that was paying them the most. You know what I mean? So I think it's something to think about. Like, I agree. Like the goal is to get it on more insurance, to have it more covered. So you're paying $25, for a copay when you go. But ultimately we need reform. Right. Like we need PBM reform. We need a lot of overhaul in that area, although I will tell you, Christopher, my husband is of the same mind of you that we just need to get rid of the PBMs altogether.
I think PBM should go.
The
only thing that I would say to you, Christopher, about what you just said about compounding, and I don't know if you know this or how many people watching know this or not, but pharmacies, all of them were originally compounding pharmacies.
Oh yeah, I mean they've been around for 100 years. There's no question about it.
So I don't necessarily think that compounding is not a worthwhile goal for accessibility on the long term, simply because I do not believe under any circumstances that Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are not going to continue to keep these prices at the prices that they have them at, and to continue to hurt the population.
I think prices will come down.
I
absolutely do.
I'm with you on this one. Yeah, I think so. They'll have to.
I don't think their supply.
I think the reality is the almighty dollar drives this. And the only way for Lilly and Novo Nordisk to hit their stock price and to hit what they're doing is to grow. And the only way to grow will be to sell more. At the current prices, they have a limit, right? They are artificially limiting the accessibility of it on purpose.
Yeah.
So the only way they do it, it's why they just lowered prices on vials. Why Novo lowered prices? It's because they want to make the pie bigger. And they'll do that for 6 months or a year, and then they'll go, oh crap, I need to sell more, and they'll make the pie bigger again. And then orforglipron and carbamazepine and retatrutide will come out, and a year from now, 18 months from now, we'll have probably $200 doses of orforglipron for a month.
Yeah, interesting. God, I hope so, because I think the reason, and we've talked about this when we first started talking about compound on the show, is that every time they get approved for a new indication, it extends their patent, I think, by a year.
Huh.
But the thing is getting approved for more indication gets you on more formularies, because only 25% of insurance companies cover weight loss medications. You know what I mean? So that's the name of the game. They got to get on more insurance formularies.
Isn't Ozempic's patent coming up in a couple of years? The patent will expire. I think less than 5.
Yeah,
I think.
there's some court cases going on about it too.
So there might be, a generic semaglutide at some point. But, right now I want to know what I need to do right now today. What do I got to do right now today to keep me on my medication? So, and I do agree that better things are coming, new things will come, prices will come down at some point in the future. But what do I need to do right now today? And that's what I've got to protect, because the first time I heard that, compounding might go away, I freaked out, just like everybody on this podcast probably did, right? We freaked out. Don't take this away from me. What am I going to do? So I can only freak out, so many times a month, right? So I'm just decided I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna stock up where I can. I'm gonna buy where I can buy at the prices I can afford. And then at some point, if that becomes not feasible, I'll go to the next thing. So, I mean, and that's really all that we can do. And it's a shame that the patients, the people are the ones that have to suffer, right? Because nobody can afford even $6.50 a month with the coupon. Oh, wow. So, who's affording this? No one. So it's
right. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. And even even the compounded is still over $200 a month.
It really is.
Yeah, at least, right?
Yeah.
I think you make a good point, and it's like it's just like you said, though. I mean, ultimately, like, again, like, we do call these weight loss medications, and I know they do cause weight loss, but I don't think that people are like, when they're panicking about it, when they have that feeling, I don't think that people are like, oh no, I don't want to get fat again, right? Of course, nobody wants that, but it's because they don't want to get sick again, right? It's all the things that came with it, the sleep apnea, the inflammation, the pain, right? It's painful. Right. It's so painful. And it's not as painful, I think, when you're younger, and kind of embracing body positivity and all this, like, things just to be able to survive in the society. But then, like, when you get to a certain age, it hurts. It's chronic. It's chronic pain. So people are terrified to go back to that. So, but you hear the narrative, and it's like, oh, people are going to lose access to their medicine. They're going to get fat again. No, that's not what it is at all. It's that sick people, like, it's a disease. Sick people that have disease deserve medication, right? Like that, or treatment, like, even if it's surgery, if that's what it is,
Right.
I
always proposed that I was a very healthy fat person, right? Because I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have high cholesterol. Here's our cat, Jojo.
Hey, Jojo.
Jojo is in the chat. Jojo's staring now at me judgingly. And I never really thought about how the obesity was affecting my body, how the weight was affecting my body. And, and then we met Condi, cancer obesity connection, Condi, that's commenting here. And I was like, wait a minute, I can get cancer that's caused by obesity? Like, what? So, it's yes, I don't want to lose access to the medication for all these reasons, right? Reasons I don't even know about or really understand. But this medication has definitely changed my health for the better. It's changed our lifestyles. It's just changed so much. I don't want to go back for anything.
Yeah.
And I want to say,
that's fantastic.
It's Piggy. It's so true that, yes, we don't want to go back to being sick. And yes, we have been freaking out since October, I think, when the medication was taken off of the shortage list the first time. And every time that there's been a new date, a month after that, it's like, is the FDA going to do it now? And then a month later, is the FDA going to do it now? And then they're in court, and it's like, is the court case going to keep going? And oh my God, our hearts can only take so much.
Right.
And I think that, considering all of this, it's kind of made a lot of people feel like they're fatigued from the concern, and they're just like, whatever, I'm just not going to worry about it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a really dangerous place to be. And it's complacent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
no, I hear what you're saying, for sure. I'm also married to Christopher Durham, who reports on GLP News. and goes live at 9:00 on the Tuesday when he gets the results of the court. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm
not talking about you. You guys are doing a lot.
I hear what's happening, and I can't. I have to be able to know what's happening, and I have to be able to be sane about it at the same time. So but yeah, I mean, I think people should keep up with what's happening. But
we have a petition. We have a petition for affordable access, and that's what I was trying to get at. Like, if instead of just freaking out, let's sign the petition.
Yeah,
let's go to Washington. We're planning a trip to Washington in October. We're going to be taking some advocates with us. I know that Kim and Kat are going to be going with us, and
Bear.
we're going to make signs. And we're going to
JoJo.
You're the man, Bear.
Yes.
We're going to hold the signs up.
We'll bring JoJo.
And they're going to say things like, GLP-1s gave me life, with a picture of a baby, because how many people were able to actually get pregnant because of this medication? GLP-1s could have saved my dad. How many people have lost a parent to a comorbidity? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It gave me my mom back, lets my grandma live longer. And we're going to be wearing our matching t-shirts, and we're going to have a slideshow of all of the loved ones who have been lost to comorbidities, because obesity, like we've been saying, is a disease, and it needs to be recognized as a disease in the healthcare system. So it's really easy to just want to just put a pillow over our head and not freak out anymore, because it's so stressful every time that the news comes out. And you know, because you hear it from your husband every time.
Yes.
But we have to do something. We have to take all of that anxiety and band together and take action in the ways that we can. So there are ways
to sign the petition, Amanda.
If you go to change.org, but if you go to glp1collective.org, you can find ways you can volunteer. You can find ways that you can sign the petition. We also have a podcast where we're having people just tell their stories. Like, is it Mr. Mitchell who said that he was an alcoholic who stopped drinking alcohol?
Yeah.
We're trying to show the world how important this medication is and why it should not be taken away. So personal stories have a lot of power. And if you go to glp1collective.org, you can find out all the different ways that you can help take action.
Yeah.
So
nice. Well, we'll go there, and we will check that out.
GLP-1 petition again. I like 15,000. Where are you at now with the signatures?
We're getting close to 30,000.
Okay.
And it's only been 3 months. And in 3 months, we made the podcast. We got all those signatures. We've had 5 media mentions. We literally registered and incorporated a nonprofit. We are doing things, guys. You should join us.
That's awesome. What's the statistic? 84% of America, 74% of America has overweight or obesity. We don't say are obese. We say they have obesity. Right?
Yeah.
We don't call people with
cancer.
Cancers. We don't call them right. So anyway, but 74% of America has this disease of obesity, and only
have overweight or obesity.
Obesity, and 8% ish are on these GLP-1 medications. So there's so many people that can sign these petitions that this medicine, can possibly help.
Yeah, I think, and I'm hoping that, just like you said, and I think Dr. Myra, she does have a good, if you're focusing just on the facts, this is 100% a place for compound. It's just a matter of, okay, so now we have millions of people that all of a sudden need to have custom doses. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like
that's the, if you're the judge, does that really pass the smell test?
I wouldn't. I mean,
it depends on the.
But if I'm the judge, I'm also saying, where's the law that says that can't happen? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to be going by patent laws, I'm just saying.
Right. Like, how personalized is personalized? Yeah. Like, if you're making off-label dosage quantities and you're adding different things to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think this would be a good time, and Dave made a great video about it, to discuss with your doctor why one dose may not work as well as another.
Yep.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. I would think that would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This would be excellent timing for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have any more tea, Amanda? And also make sure you're telling us more about what you're doing with GLP-1 Collective and where you are with things.
I was just gonna say that Big Food
Big
has
food.
been trying to crack into the GLP-1 industry with
Yeah.
food. So they are doing a whole bunch of relabeling of their packages to say, I actually saw one at Target, blew my mind. It said GLP-1, like, what was it? It was like a probiotic. And it had in huge letters GLP-1. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's working. I see it. Now I'm picking it up and I'm reading it.
Yeah.
I had to tell myself, stop. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of gimmicky stuff coming out. And they're not necessarily trying to be malicious.
Mhm.
They're just trying to shift the game so that they can still stay relevant too, because people have not been spending money on junk food like they used to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we've seen food jump on what to them is a trend before, right? With keto, with Atkins, with sugar-free, with fat-free, you know.
Fat-free Snackwells. I remember that crap.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love those Snackwell cookies. I could eat the whole pack, and they were fat-free.
They were fat-free. You know, they were higher sugar, right? But you know, they were
Right. I was on a
fat-free.
sugar buzz there for
Mhm.
but exactly.
These are
So
delicious.
yeah, and we've shown some of those food things on our channel, like the Vital Pursuits line, the frozen dinner line. It's called Vital Pursuits. It's geared toward the GLP-1, but
We did a taste test. Not so good.
Not so
Not
good.
so good, huh?
Damn.
I hope
saw
they're
your
watching.
taste test on the protein drinks and
Yeah.
Yeah.
snacks. Yeah.
Oh, some of those protein drinks were bad. We sampled protein chips the other day.
hmm
Oh, some of those were good and some of those were not
Just
good.
awful,
So
yeah.
None of them were good.
I like Legendary.
Legendary.
Uh,
Yeah, we have some of those to try next. The sweet
Listen,
rolls and the Pop
You
Tarts.
have to put it in the microwave. I'm
Yes.
going to tell you now, if you do it in the microwave, it's solid. Okay.
It's still
Really?
only partially the taste of sadness.
I bought some of those Legendary Pop Tarts at Target because they were on an end cap, and $10 for a box of Pop Tarts.
Yeah, you're like,
I have protein in them. Sure, I'll try it. Sign me up. So I bring them home and I heat it in the microwave for like, I don't know what it says, 8 seconds, 20 seconds, I forget.
It
And he's
still tastes-
looking at it and he goes, that doesn't even look good. I said, well, it looks pretty good to me. I mean, I love Pop Tarts, right? I
That
grew
is
up on
not a
those.
Pop-Tart.
which is
He
nice.
This
said
was not
it
a
tastes like
Pop-Tart, but
sadness.
Yeah.
that's
It's
what
interesting that you're
tastes
saying that
bad.
because I think that they tasted good before the GLP-1.
Interesting.
And I am so sure that our taste buds are changing either
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're staying away from a lot of processed foods and like naturally your taste buds would change
Yeah.
just from staying away from it. But yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people are feeling like
I
their
haven't
taste
had
buds
one
have
in
changed.
I don't know how long.
What, a
so
Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tart.
No, I haven't had a Pop-Tart in
Yeah,
years.
I think
Like
it would taste
literally
very different
years.
now.
And it's one of those foods that was kind of off limits to me because once I started eating them, I would want to continue till they were gone. You know, kind of like Oreos. If Oreos came into our house,
Everybody says Oreos on this show every time. They're like,
Oh.
well, and then Oreos. Like
Or
even
Girl
the
Scout
doctors,
cookies.
like they're like
I mean,
Oreos.
some foods are just engineered to light up all those parts of your brain, right? Like
I don't know
Doritos.
that an Oreo was engineered, but it's sugar and fat. It tastes
I mean,
good.
it's got all the
That's what
things I
sugar and
like in
fat
it.
does, right? Sugar and fat on top of
Yeah.
sugar and fat.
Like
Yeah.
dessert
Yeah.
I
crack.
still eat Oreos. I still eat
But you don't eat much.
Pop-Tarts.
That's the thing.
No, I don't eat a
it's
lot
just
of
we eat
them,
a
but
No, I
little
would eat them if
every
they
now
were
and
here. I would for sure.
Yeah.
We just don't usually buy them.
I don't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oreos are my favorite. Beyond.
You know, I'm very insistent that the food that is in my house does not change because of a medication that I'm taking.
Yeah.
I grew up out in the middle of nowhere and I've eaten every kind of meat that you can possibly imagine. I've hunted it.
So you have a
So
squirrel in your refrigerator right now?
no, I do not because my wife will not let me. But trust me, I see there's one that runs across the yard all the time, and
Mhm.
if he gets as chunky this year as he got last year, I will put out a trap for
Squirrel
him.
stew.
Yeah,
Squirrel
we're
stew
from
is
South
delicious.
Carolina, so we get it, right?
Yeah,
We've
but
seen it, we get
You've
it.
never had squirrels.
No, I've never
but
had
because I ate all that
Yeah,
stuff
he's from the hills.
as a child, like
Yeah.
these days in my life, I'm like, no. If I want Pop Tarts, if I want
Mhm.
something that has sugar in it, it will be in my house.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, we
I
get
just
it. It's just I think that's the difference
I
is
just
we
don't
buy
eat
one
much of
box
it.
that'll last us months. Do you know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, she got Girl Scout cookies
Mhm.
a month ago or whenever they came
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
And I think I had 2, and
Same.
Well, the
Yeah.
Girl Scouts have helped us out because the boxes are half the size now.
Right.
They are. They
Three
are.
times the price, right?
Well, funny thing happened. I bought them. I put them because I like my Samoas to be in the refrigerator and my
Mhm.
Thin Mints to be in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And I forgot about them. Like I forgot that I bought them. I forgot they were in there. Like I didn't know how many was left in my mind. Like before I had a running and I didn't even realize I was doing this. I had a running commentary in my mind of all the food that was in my house all the time. I could tell you how much of whatever was left. And to go open the refrigerator and get stuff out for dinner, whatever, and be like, oh yeah, there's Girl Scout cookies in there. I mean, if that's not a sign that this stuff works,
it does like a little bit like half
Right.
and half for me. Like sometimes, like so when my husband bought cookies, I got into this. Are they still called the Samoas? But I moved them back to the behind of the freezer. No, they fell out of the freezer because they were in the freezer and they fell out of the package. And so I put them in a new bag and put them back in. And I did forget at that point. Like, I don't know. Sometimes there's a fixation a little bit at first.
Yeah.
And then it just goes away.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird. I
no,
mean, there is a wall, right? And as someone, I know you guys are like a year or so, and so kind of been with 2.5 years. And I will say, and this is just my experience, I have weeks where the food noise comes back a little. Like it's a dull roar and it's fucking terrifying. Sorry, Dad. It is. It's so scary when it happens. But I think what I'm sort of learning is that like I have what I think is normal hunger now. Like I get hungry and then I eat and then I'm done, and that is what I think is sort of like the amazing piece of it. But I still do like have it. And it's like, so it's like people say, oh, the food noise comes back. I don't think I mean, it's different for everybody. I don't think the food noise necessarily, because food noise is constant, right?
Right.
It's more just like you're hungry again. And it's kind of scary because in the beginning, you're like not hungry at all. Like you forget to eat. And like, a lot of people have that experience. You know what I mean? But then like over time, I think we get to a place where our bodies aren't getting used to the meds. Like I know they are in a way, but they don't stop working. They don't stop working.
They don't stop working. So I get hungry at meal times, which is appropriate, right? So sometimes I wake up and I'm hungry for breakfast. I want to eat breakfast. I get hungry for lunch. I sometimes got really hungry for dinner. I figured out I hadn't really eaten enough through the day. And I, because you forget to eat. Who am I, right?
I know, right?
But I think it's appropriate to be hungry at meal times. And I want to feel those signals because I want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't want to eat constantly snacking through the day. I don't want to do that. But I think it's okay and appropriate to be hungry at meal times. And that was really hard to get used to after when I started the medicine and not being hungry at all and having to really remember to eat.
Well, I think so. I think so many of us don't really know can't differentiate between hunger and food noise.
Right.
And the line is so fuzzy from when it jumps from one to the other.
Absolutely.
It's a learning process, right? We have to figure out it's okay for our body to say we're hungry.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Right. That's called survival.
That's a normal response. Like
it's not okay for me to say I need to eat the entire bag of Oreos and what am I eating in 15 minutes, what am I eating in an hour, and I need some biscuits and
and that Bojangles commercial looked really good.
Yeah. And you're like,
are any of you craving anything though? Do you have any weird cravings still?
No.
I like gummy candy now.
I crave chocolate occasionally. Like I really want last night I really wanted something chocolate and we had these the Quest peanut butter cups, and
those
I ate
delicious.
one.
I had Bear and Kim on them like last year when I had those Quest mini cups. Yeah,
and I mean, I think it was I think it was very similar in calories to a Reese's peanut butter cup. It just had a little bit more protein.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I could just had a Reese's peanut butter cup and been.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'd almost rather just take the Reese's cup and just put a big glob of peanut butter. I'd be like, protein increase.
Well, you know
Take some
what?
protein powder on it or something.
Yeah.
If you have a creamy, I
we
always
do.
have bases
We do.
of vanilla and then crumble up Reese's peanut butter cups and throw them in your creamy when you're
Yeah.
make like a little blizzard. Those are tasty.
Yeah, we bought a
And then you
Ninja
can also add
creamy.
peanut butter.
Exactly. I think
But
it's
it
better
doesn't.
than peanut butter protein powder. Definitely just put the peanut butter in.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the chunks of the Reese's cup in there. And
You can make it. You can add it.
Make it.
Oh yeah, I'm because if I'm gonna have anything that's like a blizzard, I need a blizzard type situation going on. So
Oh,
you
it
need the
tastes just
crumbled
like
up
it.
things going in there.
Have you not seen my TikToks where I'm like, getting excited with the refrigerator because it was so good?
I
Yeah.
can't go on TikTok that often. I don't behave very well on TikTok. So
I'll go find it and share it. Let me see if I can find it.
We should share. Speaking of, Kat has a great video to share for some exercises you can do at home.
Here, Boomer. I don't know how, and I'm calling myself. How do I add the video to StreamYard?
So if you go to present, and then you want to share from a file.
Hold on, present.
So like at the bottom, like where you have like mute and camera and all that.
Oh, video file right there in my face.
Do that, and then you can show it.
Okay.
We're
And I
learning.
will find the ice cream one.
We're podcasters. Like we do this on audio, so we're we're learning.
I think this is it. Okay, hopefully it works. It was just a quick TikTok, so
Yeah, show it. It's a good one though.
my video is a bit too short.
No, really? Dang. Okay. We might be able to share screen. Will that work?
Yeah, try sharing screen.
Try sharing screen.
That means I have to log in.
Does it? Is that what it
You know
says?
what? Hang on.
We'll just skip that.
I'll find it.
Okay. You're gonna
Talk about ice cream, creamy ice cream, or ice cream in your creamy.
What?
When you
Make
make
your
ice
cream in your creamy?
in your creamy.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna use that one instead, is what you're saying. Right?
No, we're talking about. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. We'll take you.
I don't know if you can hear it.
I know it's weird.
This is like kind of strange.
Yes, back on.
Hey! We're a little bit strange here,
In the
right?
meantime, we have 153 people watching on our side, so please make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes, please do. Like and subscribe does too.
and we'll just say again, we're not doctors. Please consult your medical professional before starting any new fitness plan or medication.
And we will do a plug for our cruise while she's working on that. So
Yes.
So we cruise a lot, as we've talked about before, and we actually have decided to, and a few weeks ago, that we are hosting a Downsized at Sea cruise.
Fun.
So June 23rd through the 27th, you can join us on the Celebrity Reflection out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We'll be going to Bimini and Nassau, Bahamas. There's about 50 people registered right now to come with us. So a bunch of GLP-1 people, a bunch of our viewers out there are coming. Everybody's welcome to come, and we'll do meet and greets, and we'll have panels, and we'll go do
some line
excursions together.
dancing. We could get Christopher to line dance.
I made the mistake of telling them that if 30 people came, I would line dance. I don't line dance. And then they came. So now we're in trouble. It will not be good.
Yeah.
But go to our website,
thedownsized.org,
and you can check it all out.
There's some good TV, Christopher. I like it so much.
Just
All right,
do the electric
downsized.org.
slide. It's
Is
the
it
easiest one,
downsized or
Christopher.
downsized?
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm sorry?
Just do the electric slide. It's the easiest one. Just the
Wobble,
electric
baby,
slide.
wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. No, go to thedownsized.org, click cruise, you'll see us, and you can figure out how to get there. Mindy's going on the cruise. Thais is
girl,
going on the
Mindy,
cruise.
right.
We've got some cruisers in this mix watching with us here. So we'd love to have you. We'll have some good swag. The Downsized Cruise is actually now sponsored by Mochi Health.
Oh, that's great.
So,
That's
yay.
awesome.
So they're sending lots of swag.
We'll get some good mochi swag as well. So
love it.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, we I think
I can find it now. I think. What is it? Share. Oh, I don't share screen.
We can bean footage and close.
Oh, I'm doing it. I'm
Okay.
doing it. I'm gonna figure it out here in real time. Screen sharing is easiest.
Sure.
Roll
Okay.
that beautiful bean footage.
That's what we call it.
Roll the, what is that from Bush's Baked Beans commercial?
It
Roll
sure
that
is.
beautiful
Yes,
bean
it is.
footage.
And I was trying to think about like how to do sponsors, and I was like, we need to roll the bean footage, and that's what happened ever since. We're quick. Beans.
All right,
We need
I'm gonna
beans.
try this. Let's see if
All
it's
right.
gonna.
We're learning with Kat. There
Can
you
you
go.
see?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Let
Fine.
me darn it!
Oh, she's doing lunges
Stretch of that peach.
on a
This is
step.
a
Let me
must
rewind
for
it.
big glutes.
Okay.
Next, come
Uh-oh.
lunge your way to some luscious glutes. Here's some awesome lunge variations. Starting with the split squat. What a massive glute exercise this is, guys. Great range of motion. Look at that stretch of that peach. This is a must for big glutes. Next,
Big
come with me on the Smith machine here, guys. Little Smith machine step up. What a beast this is, guys. Nice. Look at this range of motion, stretching that glute like no other, driving through the heel. This is an amazing exercise to get that big peach. And finally, not going to beat some old school walk-in lunges. This movement here is one of the best. I like to take a wide sumo stance as I lunge out, just like this, guys. And boy, oh boy, peaches ahoy. Give a save. Get
Peaches
thick.
ahoy. There you go, Kat. Great job.
Yay!
But that's how to do it at home, right? So you don't have to go in the gym and show off your peach.
Just use your stairs. You just use
You had
your
a
stairs.
very peachy peach, didn't
Man,
you?
does he ever? I do all his.
It's
Yeah,
like bonk, bonk.
that's his whole.
Wonka wonka.
I don't think I could resist. I'd be like, can I squeeze it? My husband be like, bam.
His name
That's
is
where you need the whip. Bear, you need the whip.
I know. Yeah, OMG, right,
That's
Steph?
good TV, right, Steph? Isn't that good TV? Cat's so funny. Oh, you're whipping me in. Okay. Bean footage? Okay. Let's do bean footage.
Okay, let's do it.
Ready?
Let's go with that.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
I love that. Woo! Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming. We really have enjoyed our time together. Look at us all on the same screen.
Yay. Thanks for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Everybody have a fantastic night. And if you haven't ever been here before, we hope that you will like and subscribe. It's hard for me to ask because I'm Southern. Please do it.
Don't worry, I'm Midwestern, so could you like and subscribe?
Yeah, like I just tell them. So on ours, there's 148 people. I only have 116 likes.
Yeah.
Who didn't like? Hit it right now.
Hit the like. Do it now. I love it. All right, we're going to play our outro. We hope that you will come and join us again in 2 weeks. We have an episode every week here on the Plus Sides. Usually we have a doctor with us to talk about why these work, how they work, and we're trying to get loud and change things. If you subscribe and like, it really does help. So thank you so much.
And go
I'm
sign
glad
the
that you love the
petition.
show, Mitchell. Thank you so much.
And go sign the petition on the GLP-1.
Go sign the petition, right? Don't forget the GLP-1 Collective. What's happening?
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thanks.
all.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night. Let me get my mouse to work.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus SideZ Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Bye, everybody.